Hello, friends. Welcome. We're live, or we should be at least. That is how things should work. It looks like that should be coming in through here. Let's make sure that everything's looking good. Things are just slower than we would want them to be. I have an idea as to why. Well, it's working well. I'm not stuttering or anything. That's what's really the most important. Cool. Cool. We'll see who shows up when they do. Let's go hit the LinkedIn now. We are slowly loading pages because the internet is slow. Where are we connected? Let's see. No, we are definitely connected to the right one. Things are just a little slurred today. That'll happen. Oh, we got a couple of folks popping in. Cool. Say hi, hello. Let us all know that you're here. I'm just going to make a quick post whenever the event actually loads because the internet likes to be difficult. Really can't click anything these days. There we go. That's what I want. Whew. Well, there it goes. Just everything running so slow on my computer. Just like dog slow. Ooh, what's this thing? I wouldn't know because I can't click on it. Oh my god. Friends, we will be right back. Well, that's fun. My camera's not showing up. Wow. Oh, fun. Let's fix that. Oh, that's fun. Does that work? Hi, folks. I'm here. We're just having a really good time with our camera not showing up. Why? Why is this what's happening today? There we go. Hello, folks. Say hi, if you don't mind. Uh, things are running a little wild there. I couldn't quite find the right place to be. But now we're better. We're all better. All right, now let me go just quickly. Let people know we're live. Okie dokie, folks. How's it going? What's new? Got 4 people showing up here, 3 of you over on the YouTube. Hello, hello. Lizzo, stop it. I know that we have at least one person coming. Susan's coming here shortly to chat, to talk to us, to share whatever she's dealing with, and then we're going to figure out today. Happy to chat with anyone else. It's Oktoberfest, which is actually a really great time for me to share some exciting news. We'll give it a little bit more time, and then I'll share the news, which will be exciting. So what are y'all doing? I'm mostly here for you folks, so you got to tell me what you're interested in and what you want to go over today, because that's why we show up, is to go over those questions. So you should tell me what you want to work on today, folks. Team just happened. That was the biggest stuff that happened recently. Atlassian has some more events coming up here soon. There's going to be Connect. They're doing Connect Cloud Bound. They're also running Team on Tour starting. Um, yeah, there's a lot that's about to be happening. So, we can always go over that stuff. But I like really intentionally try to drive this through what you all want to hear and what you all want to talk about. So I'm going to still try and push for you all to try and share some of those things to me today. At the same time, what we'll do, just to give folks a little bit of time, and maybe you're still thinking, maybe you don't know what you want to ask, maybe it's your first time here, maybe you're here because you're a friend and you just like to support me, which is cool and rad and awesome. We got to tell more new people about this. And I'm going to work on that going forward. Partially that's been because I've had a difficult schedule and haven't always been available. And so we're trying to make sure that that is now I'm consistently available for all of that so that we don't have to worry about that going forward. So let's see. Let's do the fun thing that we sometimes do. Like let's talk about the things that have just been announced in the past week. Always good to do. So let's go to our cloud updates. And we're going to use our good friends over at Released again. And I'm going to encourage everybody, as always, to take the time to uh, visit our friends at Released. I'll put their stuff on the site. This is always the case. It's never big enough. If I make it smaller, I think it gets bigger there. I'm going to make this sidebar smaller too. I like Dia. I know not everybody does. I know we're still waiting for the better sidebar stuff. But this is where we are today, friends. Okay? So let me really quick. I do want to encourage everybody to check out they've got some really cool stuff coming. This part always sponsored by our good friends at Released because they have the amazing unofficial changelog for the Atlassian cloud, which I rely on for the unofficial Atlassian ecosystem roundup, which will be coming out today. So a couple of new things that have come out this week is that they're going to be finally removing this trusted user role in Atlassian administration. And these are all changes that are new this week. Now, one of the things that I know that they're continuing to work on is making sure that you get the right rollouts and the right information at the right time here. They've been talking about this for a while. It's like it's still going on. This is a very Atlassian thing. It's going to take forever. You can't assign it anymore, but it's probably still not gone yet. The new UI is rolling out for Confluence. So you're going to see some new icons for Confluence content types. So you'll see the correct icon for like a published page, a live page, blog post, or comment when you search across Jira, Confluence. Mercury? Mercury, what is Mercury? Huh, that seems like an accident. Let's go to, because I'm intrigued now. Yeah, huh. Let's see if that's in there under Confluence. Yeah, what is Mercury, friends? Anybody have an idea? Anybody have an idea? Because I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued now. We're going to hold on to that and ask some questions of some people. But yeah, let's see. Let's get back to over here. A clearer way to identify the content types, same sort of thing. They're trying to make sure that you have the right information there. New look for the legacy content macro. So this is going to look different now in the editor. The new look aims to make it look easier to identify and work with. So there are new ways that will look like in Confluence. I'm not sure that I have a legacy content macro in any of the content in the spaces that I have. So that's a thing to be aware of. Oh, hey, Stevo. Um, I think Stevo's trying to ask questions. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me help Steve out. I could understand what's going on here. The LinkedIn chat doesn't show up as easily. So let's get into the chat. See if I can mute it here. Okay. Just trying to see why people aren't able to ask questions. Making sure that we get things squared away here. Let's take a look at the YouTube stream. Okay. Yeah, I see some questions now. Okay, here we go. Uh, okay, how can we Dibiandu, give me a second here. How can we migrate a part of a project? But I mean, I want to make sure that Steve is able to get in here really quick and is able to get his questions answered. So let me just make a second check here. So I've tossed that to Steve because I would absolutely like to be able to help him out. Um, so Dibiandu, we're gonna pin that. I'm gonna hold on to that for a second here for me, and then I will come back to that question that you have. We're gonna go through this some more. And hopefully, Steve, you're able to get in here on YouTube pretty easily, or you can toss me the question in uh, good old LinkedIn. That's fine as well. Um, yeah, so Dibiandu, we will come to that in just a moment. Let's run through the rest of these things. All right, cool. So all of the changes to the content macros. Updating Jira work items from Confluence databases. This is neat. You can now update the status, assignee priority, and summary fields of Jira work items directly from a Confluence database. So that means that you can open the database and change the information in the database and it will show up in Jira. That's a big win. Hey, Susan. Awesome. And then you can share, invite people and set their access directly from content in Confluence. That's great. Okay, now Jira product discovery. So there's some new navigation to help you link fields, space, link type, and search are clearly identified. Cool. The content type thing again, that's it there. JSM. Managing alerts in the alert list. So they've updated the unified alert list to make it easier to see and manage all your alerts and alert groups in one place. That's cool. That's very cool. Um, Plans load faster. Excellent. Always wonderful. Journey execution. You can now add smart value conditions to journey parents, making it possible to run a journey only when a specific condition is met. That's nice. That makes it easier to understand when journeys are going to run. If you don't know about journeys, that's a thing we can put a pin in and chat about. Um, on the platform, they've made it easier. Oh, we can't see the picture here, so let's see if we can see it here. Here we go. Oh, just that. So you can now more easily click the plus item directly below the work item's name. Oh, they're moving more things up to the top there. Huh. We'll have to take a look at what that looks like. That's new this week, so we'll have to see if it's hit our instances yet. Let's see. That's the same thing there. New reminder digest for comment mentions. Oh, that's nice. So now for mentions that you've gotten, if you haven't responded to them, then they will come through and you can then go ahead, like you'll get a reminder that you haven't responded to them. That's helpful. That's the content types thing, and that looks like everything that's new for this week specifically. So that is neat. Let's see if there's anything else over here. I don't think there should be. Well, there's a bunch of rolling out stuff. See, that's the difference here. This thing gives you everything that's changing. So, and if whether it's like already new, see that's what they've done over here at release, which I really like, is you have just the new things right here. You can switch to see everything and hit all changes, and this will show you like when did it start to roll out, and then and they don't do a great job. Some of these rollout dates, like this is not release faults, it's Atlassian's fault. They could do a better job at labeling some of this stuff. So that's the new stuff that's happened in the last week here. Let's do one other couple of places I like to just sort of hit at the top here. Let's do the Atlassian developer change log. By the way, Dibyando, your question here about migrating a part of a project, say only the active records of a project from DC to cloud, you can't do that, at least not in the way that you're thinking. So if I wanted to migrate only a set of issues from a project, or work items, I guess now, what I would do is this. I would I would create a new project, move all of the work items from the project that we no longer want to migrate and move those over to that new project. And then I would migrate the project up. So that's a way that you can eliminate that. The other thing you can do is do a manual migration by CSV, pull everything out, export just the records you want, and then send those up. But you cannot like chunk a project or a space automatically. That's not possible. Confluence 10.2 LTS is in beta now. So that's the thing that's happening. If you're an administrator or something like that and you're running data center still, be aware. This isn't a super big deal for folks here. This is the way they're sort of addressing the way that Forge billing and such is going to work. Forge automation actions. Um, Debiando, if you need, you can also export history. But again, then the best thing for you to do is to migrate, is to move a bunch of the issues, move the issues you're not going to sync up over, and then to a different project, and then migrate the project that has the issues that you want. Then all the history will come. That's the best thing I can recommend. Well, um, I don't think that that's a thing they're probably going to. You can provide the feedback, but that would be, I think, a pretty significant enhancement to the way that they've done things. But you're welcome to. Forge automation actions. We've talked about some of these. Susan, we may build one of these for you one day to make what you did before easier. Um, what else? This is exciting. If you build a run on Atlassian app, you can take home 100% of the revenue. It's just kind of wild because it's actually using all of Atlassian's resources in that case. So that's pretty nice. New Forge events to know when. Oh my gosh, I need to slow down my scroll wheel. I actually think I have that window open here. Let's fix that because it's going to drive me crazy. There we go. Scroll wheel. Oh, wow, that's better. Then I can probably do this and save me my life here. Yeah. Okay, I solved that problem now. So yeah, lots of things going on here. They're also working on Forge containers, which is kind of wild. If you're a person who writes Python apps and you want to write a bunch of stuff in Python for Atlassian Cloud, you'll be able to. You don't have to know Node now. You can just do it in your own language. So I think that's kind of wild and cool. Yeah. So I think those are the things that are interesting there. Let's take one more spin through something. By the way, for a large instance, we can't separate the data. What do you mean? The big one from don't move moving active records to another project will increase the work. It will increase the work. That is true. You could also archive those records and then they won't show up in your search. And I also believe they won't be moved then. But yeah, either way, you'd have to do the work to some degree. Like you can't. Let me see here. Yeah, okay, perfect. So the other thing you can do is you can archive the issues and then choose not to migrate the archived issues. So you don't have to move them to another, don't move your active records, move your inactive records. But if you do this, you could archive the records and choose not to migrate them. But you're going, like, the thing is, if you're going to do a migration, CMJ, Configuration Manager for Jira, is that what you mean, CMJ? Like this? This app right here? Yeah, that's a question for the app developers at this point. Uh, yeah, because here's migrate projects and issues from Jira Data Center Server and Data Center to Jira Cloud. And let me just, so you're going to select the projects. Yeah, there's definitely not a way to do that here. And you might find out that the reason that is effectively because of Atlassian's own process. And you can look at their roadmap here. They have a roadmap. Well, you can't see their roadmap. That's always fun. So who knows? Yep, I would check with them. Hey, Susan, how are you? I wish I could find out what's been changed on here really easily, but I don't think I can. Let's do this. Statuses. Future, coming soon. Those are my two favorite for us to look at here. I know they've announced this. Some of this, I'm never really sure why certain things get updated and certain things don't. Doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense to me. My week has been good. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything here that's going to be helpful for us to see. I don't think so. Oh, public status pages natively in JSM. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. That's going to replace status page effectively. Um, Scheduled imports for assets, also a big deal. This way you can do your discovery and schedule your imports all in one phase. That's huge. Um, I'm also really looking forward to the context-rich Jira work items from Loom. That's going to be great. Like this, RovoDev is GA. Why haven't they updated it, Susan? Who do we have to talk to? Um, yeah, they're going to 250,000 users this next coming year. That's wild. But they have to when you think about where things are going. So lots of stuff coming. Yeah, they just updated it. Don't know why they didn't update these things. All right, Susan, you got anything exciting on your mind that you want to go over, that you want to talk about? Oh, I do want to shout out again to folks. This month is Apptoberfest. We're halfway through, and Apptoberfest is this really cool thing that happens in um, the let me find it here, App Central. In the App Central group, if it will open, there we go. Apps for ITSM. Each week there's a focus. DevOps, ITSM, collaboration and teamwork. So the way that this works is For each week of this month, people are putting, you can discuss what's going on, like what's your favorite app for DevOps? And then the other thing that people are happening at the same time. Oh, how do you say, perfect. Susan, great question. Let me wrap up Oktoberfest. Dibyandu, a lot of great stuff. I mean, Team 25 Europe, we did a recap last week. Rovo's coming to all standard plans. Rovo is in like everything now. You're going to be able to vibe code apps from Atlassian Studio. There's now controls around Studio. I'll point you to, there's a roundup somewhere of all of the Team 25 announcements. Hold on. Like there are a lot of announcements. So here we'll actually probably just use Adaptivists because they came up. Somebody has better SEO. Yeah, nobody does this as well as I would like them to. Let's go to Atlassian.com. We'll get something together here for specifically around Team 25. So here's all the announcements right here. So this page right here, product news, all of these here, all of these here, all the way here, all through. Yeah, through about there. We'll get a roundabout, but this is a great place to start. So let me drop this link for you. All right, so Susan, how do we set up an info at email in JSM or Jira and direct it to a particular project? So Jira Service Management Project specific. So each service project comes with a dedicated email. Oh, hey, Rodney, you back? So I also don't know if I have any domains set up yet oh, but you know, where do I have something? I don't know. Let's go in here. Let's see what's up. Let's go to JSM. Or not. I don't know why it's not here. Oh, because it's not the one. Oh my God. This is literally like the worst thing in the world. Nobody understands. Okay. There we go. What? Oh, that's the wrong email address. That's why. Hold on. I was sneaking into other things. Yeah, we could probably do it in here. Actually, this one specifically. I want to switch apps. You can't. Cool. That's helpful. Where's my Jiras? Why do I have no Jiras? Oh, I know why. Probably because things are down right now. Okay, now we're here. Cool. Let's look at our projects. Well, here, it's a service desk. Great. So, to do this, project settings, and we go to email requests. Also, you can go to channels. Like, there's your email that it comes with, right? So then if you hit configure, you can add an external email. And here is how you set up a dedicated email address. So if you're using Microsoft or Google, you follow through these and you follow the steps here. Let me see if I can find the detail. There's a video here. Yeah, here's custom emails. And so custom emails, me. Why doesn't it make it easier to show this, how to do this? Here, this is probably right. Yes, add an external email address right here. So if you click continue with Google, it'll take you through an OAuth authentication. With Microsoft, same. Like you may have to configure consent for Microsoft and Google. That's like in the Entra settings. Any competent Entra person will know how to do that. If you're having a separate third party type, you can set that up too. POP, IMAP, some other ones there. And this information here, we'll talk about how all of it needs to get set up here, right? Like, how does it process them? How do you make sure what's coming in and what's not coming in? All of it's right here, your custom email channel connection. So let me drop 2 links for you here, because this will be helpful for you, Susan. This one, and then this one. Goodness, why always? Copy link address. Those 2 links will be super helpful. It's kind of hard to show here because I would have to be connected to like another Google domain that I had an admin account at, which I do have, but like is in another window that with an account that doesn't have access to email. What if all your users and customers are internal? Well, this external email address simply means email address not hosted by Atlassian.net. So even if, let's say my company is brownshirts.com, that's a terrible choice, orangeshirts.com. It's considered an external email address if it's not like this right here, right? IGSD at one-atlas-fmjv.atlassian.net. An external email address would be info@orangeshirts.com. That's still considered an external email address. It doesn't mean the email's coming from people outside of your company. It just means that the domain is an external domain, right? So it's external to Atlassian's system because it's coming through another email system. Does that make sense? Let me know. Excellent. Wonderful. Wonderful. Wunderbar. What else do folks want to see, want to do, want to know? There is like a whole new app that I haven't played with yet. Have any of you looked at Atlassian customer service yet? or customer service management, as they're calling it. Oh, Rodney, also, I have to show you something. Maybe, do you know what this is? Because I'm about to send a message internally and find out. Uh, Here we go. Hey, Rodney, you ever heard of an app called Mercury? Because I haven't. But according to Atlassian, we're going to now be able to search across all of these apps and Mercury. So you know that's got me interested. Because that's new to me. Exactly. Mercury's not the thing that Mike said there was a code name about in his keynote. Was that Mercury was the code name of something? Was it? I just know that this is what do you think, Rodney? Goodness, Rodney, I couldn't talk for a moment. Random? You think this belongs in random? I'm gonna tag Ali and be like, maybe he knows. I've never heard of it. So that's a thing that's interesting to me. But has anybody tried out customer service management yet? Do you guys want to go play with that and see what it's like? What is that? Mercury for Jira, Susan? But is that an Atlassian thing? Why would they be referencing it? The Atlassian App Store now. Look at that, friends. Oh, where'd the service collection go? Huh. Interesting. Let's see what exists in our admin over here. Let's see if we can spin up the service collection. I know other folks have been able to do this. Oh, God, not again. I think maybe I can actually close these because that would be nice. Talent, focus. But if you hit try it now, here's what happens. It probably won't let me do this. We'll find out. I think this is a demo limitation at the moment. Oh, no, it worked this time. Excellent. Let's go. No, it hasn't been moved yet. That's true. No, I know. See, this is what I mean. No, why are you doing this to me? So actually what we have to do is we have to create a new site. How am I going to do this? Where do we create a new site, Rodney? Do you remember? Just going to do the same thing again here. I always feel like I get turned around inside Atlassian's like admin structure still. Okay, organization settings, overview. Wait, sites, sites. Ooh, oh, cool. That's fun. Oh, link Bitbucket. I think that's new. Friends, I have no idea what's happening with this thing now. Sites? Hmm. Backups exist now. Freeze windows, that's a cool thing they've added. But still, like I literally could not tell you how I add another site. You would think I would know this. That's pretty funny. What if I just try to have it give me another Jira? I don't think I can. Let's see. Add. No, we're just going to use. Right, exactly. If we do this, I love it. I love Atlassian sometimes. Let's just pick a site. Theoretically, who knows, friends? Who knows how you do anything? Apps, Atlassian apps. Add an app. Let's do it. Here it is. Oh, wait. There it is. Oh my God, what isn't taken? That's too funny. Is that taken? Nope, I found one. Cool. I want to see what this customer service management looks like. Cool. I'm not going to be charged anything after 14 days. Yeah, maybe Mercury's still something internally, Susan. Okay. Okay, but I would like to close this now. Oh, right. I'm using Dia. Atlassian owns this too now, the web browser, which is pretty funny. This should only take a minute or two. Get started. Ooh, cool. So, I think the main change here that we see is that we do get this new project type, customer service management. Everything else is still called um, Jira Service Management. And I bet if we look through here, everything else would be the same. Oh, that's neat. Look at that community program management. I think it adds some more templates. Yep. How much you want to bet that it'll, oh, IT Service Management Essentials, right? They have that one. Facilities, nonprofit. But we're going to go to service management and we're going to choose customer service management. Okay. Ah! No, there we go. Sorry. So, okay, so what you can do specifically is you get branded support experience for external customers. So I think that's really interesting. So let's use the template. Oh, cool. Okay, there we go. Ooh, notice this. It's a Jira space. They called it a Jira space. Okay, so now, what is the customer experience name? Interesting. Adding a customer experience lets you create tailored support. Um, what should the customer experience name be? I'm super fascinated. Like, I think we could probably get a little bit more interesting information here from people. Let's call it Atlassian Nick users. I think what you actually need is the service collection. And how is that working? Hold on. Trying to remember if what are they doing here? So the service collection is a part of this. JSM starts. Yes. So actually, if you're already using JSM, you'll get CSM in your current subscription when you move to Service Collection. So I think what they're doing right now is like they're still working out the kinks about the moves, maybe. But it seems that you don't have to do anything. And Service Collection exists at all different levels here too. So let's see what it says here. I'm sure this is like their, okay, here we go. So is there a pricing piece here? No, they're not going to tell us anything. What does this mean for Jira Service Management? Is an app in the Service Collection. So when you do no longer can purchase JSM by itself, you purchase the service collection, which includes JSM, CSM, um, assets, and Rovo. So I think is the way that this is going to work. Yeah. So that's interesting. That really means that you're not going to buy any of these. I wonder if you can still buy any of these on their own. Let's see. You can buy Jira by itself. So that you can still do. If you go to the teamwork collection though, so you can try it free. But one thing, oh, here's the pricing. That's what I was looking for. So right, so the teamwork collection, you get Jira, Confluence, Loom, and Rovo. Right. I see what they're doing now because if you look at the service collection, they don't have pricing up here yet. Then I would expect that that's probably the most difficult thing to price now. But but what they're probably just going to do is throw in the same pricing. Like it's not going to change a lot. Because they also haven't introduced what the pricing for the software collection is going to be. Because they're so new, at least not here. I expect that we could find it out. Strategy collection has pricing now, which is kind of wild. Like I said, Rodney, you can't buy, or maybe this was to Alex. Nobody except the rich companies get the strategy collection. You must have at least $77,000 to spend on aligned talent and focus. I don't care if you have 3 people in your company. You must spend $77,400. Period. And you don't need premium or enterprise. Yeah, the CSM is going to be included, which is great. So yeah, but Rodney, this is only for rich people. The poors do not get the strategy collection. And I expect service and software will have prices soon, but because like software will be, this will be interesting how they're going to put this all together. I don't even know. I mean, like you can still probably go. DX isn't even pending. It's like it's still pending acquisition right now, so I don't think you can buy DX directly. Um, but you can still buy Bitbucket directly. Yep. So they just haven't put those pieces together yet, and I think yeah. So that'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out. What I think is happening is Atlassian would prefer to sell the collections. It's a higher price value than individually. And then, of course, the other thing that's going to be really wild is Rovo, which is like you can get Rovo is going to come by itself soon now, which is also kind of wild. Like you won't need access to any Atlassian products. You'll just be able to have Rovo. I work for them. So we'll call this Atlassian Clinic users. We'll create the experience. What does that look like? Okay, now I can set up my customer experience. So let's do that. So it looks very much like, but you can have different customers and different customer experiences. So that's interesting. And we're going to pull that open now. It's loading. Access. Access to the hub is controlled by the linked project. Oh, okay. So, okay, I can add teams here. That makes sense. So that's my teams. I can change that. Um, this lets me choose what the forms are going to be for that customer. Oh, okay. So this is like, you can do this all in, this is very much like MSP level. or just an external service, but like you can coordinate and put that all together in a single project. You can put the articles in here, so you don't. I'm expecting that this looks like a lot like a Confluence thing. Let's see, articles. You add Confluence for no dollars. Yep. Okay, so that works like a lot like JSM does. Branding here lets you put your company logo and the different information in here so that you can give a consistent for your branding. Here's the support website and email. There's a chat widget that you can do. You can set up the agent in Studio. Okay. Which customers, which organizations, so you can put that in there specifically. You can build your little customer service agent. And then you can define how all of these things work for this customer. And then you could do it for another customer and another customer. So you can have a single project if you wanted to that intakes all your customers or a subset of your customers if they have a common sort of product or usage that they have. And you don't have to have different projects for each of them. You can each of them can get their own sort of set of information on the. It's a very ServiceNow, very ServiceNow, but done Atlassian's way. Yeah, I think this is pretty cool. This is good stuff. That's that thing again. All right, all right. Anybody told me anything interesting yet? Let's see. Focus. It treats a customer, a company, or like a project or space. Kind of. What I would say is that I think it treats a customer like a container inside of a space. So that way you can have because your space is still, your space is still this same space that we're in right now. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, it's mapped to the project, to the, right, because if we go here, aha, it's linked. Very interesting. So they're actually kind of separate. Really, the the experience is just the experience for different groups of customers. Then that gets linked to whatever project you want to link it to. And it looks like maybe you can only link one to one. That's different than I expected. Um, what if I add another one? Oh no, you can link each customer experience. Oh no, hold on. Um, Tom's Bob's. Okay, yep, absolutely. So you see they have different websites, different customer service agents. They can even have different emails, but they're both linked to the same project or space. Yeah. And you can link, and so it is going to be one, it's a many to one relationship from customer experiences to spaces slash projects. Because you cannot have more than a customer experience can only be linked to one project or space, but one space can be linked to, it seems like, I mean, at least multiple customer experiences. So it is kind of exactly what I thought. You can sort of connect them there. So, because here's the thing, you might have the same process. You might have a group of people who all work on the same products, and you sell those products to like 10 different customers, right? Those 10 customers you want to brand things differently for you. There, you may have a support like conversation or experience a little different for each of them, but you want it to go to the same uh, space in Jira because it's the same group of people, the same agents working on all of that information across the board. So that's the way that I would think about it. Can I sign up for DX through there? No. Wow. No, I didn't want to do that again. Nope, it really didn't like me. They're a company. There we go. You can't even sign up for DX directly. And friends, that's interesting. What's the last thing Atlassian had like that they bought? I guess it would be a line. I don't think there's been anything since a line that they bought that is you can't just directly sign up. Hmm, that's fascinating. Cause I'm gonna go look at DX. I don't know what it looks like either. Somebody inside Atlassian. Oh, it's still pending acquisition, I guess. But yeah, I would love to be able to see what DX looks like too. Oh, yeah, I guess this donation's not coming to feed you again today. I don't understand. Oh, what is vibe coding? Vibe coding. What is vibe coding technically? Technically, vibe coding is using an AI assistant, telling it to build something, and then just like when it's wrong, you just tell it something else, and you just keep talking to it. You don't look at the code, and you just keep telling it what to do until hopefully you get something that works. Um, the way that you do that well is an interesting thing. It's a lot about learning how to write prompts. It's about making sure that the right information is available. It's not necessarily great if you are a developer and you can fix some of the problems that might happen faster. But for people who have no idea about how coding works, if you can learn context engineering and prompt engineering and those sort of things, then you can sort of coax and prompt um, AI coding assistants to build you a tool that you want without you needing to sort of do it all by yourself or like you need to write any code. They work better or worse. I've made websites with one called Lovable. People have done other apps with those too. So yeah, that's sort of what that is. You can even try some of it with like RoboDev. Any AI coding agent can kind of you can vibe code if you can talk to it and just ask it to build things, and you can sort of like be vibe coding technically. Yeah, folks have any other questions? I am open to anything else. Anything else? Anything else? Have I worked in an environment where I've had to bring on other Jira admins? Let me stop the screen sharing and we'll talk. How have you managed multiple people making changes to your site? Excellent, excellent. Okay. So, yes. How am I getting multiple people? We use change management. So a couple of things we used actually. So let me show you. Actually, we'll reshare because this is a good thing to talk through. So first, one thing I will say is I always would use a service management project uh, so that I can use the change management tooling inside of it. So somewhere here there's a Jira. But yes, so I would use change management because you're going to want to have a way to track the work. Then there's a couple of tools that I think make sense to look at. One is one a lot of people know of is Revise. And I'm just going to talk through these. So there's Revise. There is Salto changed their name, I think. Let me just confirm. Salto has a couple of products. Um, yeah, I can't remember what they said. Hold on. They built a new product too. Salto's don't know what's happening there because they're not pushing out as many changes as they were. And the other one is, I mean, those are probably like any of the configuration management tools. So those are my two favorite. But then there's also, so like if we go to the marketplace and we go, okay, excellent. Yes. Okay, great. So great. So then what I do, and is that then we use change management. And then I use a change management process. And I usually try to do like an ITIL change management process. So ITIL change management, look at the best practices here. You maybe not need a cab. I try to push more towards getting to continue like CI/CD. Companies can go back and forth, but you want to have a template basically that makes it really clear. Like people fill out a change, it goes through an approval, then people push it. Um, if it's a change now, depending on the scale of the changes that are happening consistently, then you might be looking at wanting to do some more like continuous integration, continuous deployment. So then you're going to want to be pushing to code, which you can do with both Revise and Salto, and then validating that code because you could both of them decompose the configurations down into code to help you sort of understand the way things work. And then you can validate that. You can deploy it to a staging site. You can run a script that validates that things look and work the way that they need to. You'll have to write a lot of that stuff. But then what I would do is tie it into a change request. And then when the change request gets approved, I'd run an automation to go ahead and run the job that pushes it into production. And basically, I would automate it as much as possible. And then you have the appropriate checks and balances in place. So what happens when you bring another person on really is that you're going to spend more time coordinating with them. I also have we worked on slightly different domains. So depending on the number of people you bring on and your seniority, like you may work on more of the higher level architecture pieces. They may work more on implementation. Those sort of things will happen. It's really helpful to draw boundaries or to be clear on who's working on what, and you really have to get into doing some level of agile planning, whatever that looks like for you, because the idea is that you want to know who's working on what, when, and when it's going to be done, so that the things that are coming behind it can be planned for. So I think that's the most important thing. Is there's just more coordination, um, and like be honest about where skill sets lie. Um, and initially, if you're bringing on somebody because you're backed up, lean on what each other are good at. As things get stabilized or more, then bring folks, then take the opportunity to like pair with each other or try things that you're not so good at so the other person can help you. I also really recommend putting together like a governance group so that there's a group of people in some sort of leadership that have been selected to represent their like departments or organizations inside the company to you and your team, so that a lot of the whose thing goes first, we only have two people to do the work for you, happens between them. They understand it's their responsibility to sort that out. And you can help them and coach them and give them feedback and information, but they know their business needs better than you. And they should be the ones who make the determination with their leadership. Does this thing need to come first or that thing need to come first? Because they're competing for resources. And then the last thing I'll say is that I think it's a really good thing once you start working with more than one person, if you got sandboxes, to start looking at empowering your users. So if you have people who are really interested in being able to self-affect changes, um, then you bring them in and you have them using Revise or Salto, and they're deploying to lower environments, and you're checking their work. Um, and these same things can still run through the same change process in terms of like, is this going to be a change we roll out to production? Because that needs to be signed off at a little higher level. Just people can't ask for whatever they want without making sure that they understand how the way things are going to affect other people. And that's what that governance council is really for. There's a great article out there that's been written about governance that I really love. Let me find it. So I don't know when Atlassian wrote this, but I would start with, wow, C Prime, you really changed your website. Well, maybe they took theirs down actually. C Prime had a whole blog series called The Need for Atlassian Governance. But I don't see it anymore, so this is Atlassian's version of it. It's not quite as detailed. Um, but Let me share it out. Like, it's huge. Governance is huge, and it's really helpful. And because there's never enough admins, it's just not the way the world works. So then how are you going to make sure that you reach a point where folks are doing good governance? And this is part of that. And this may be time for me to write an article on this, I guess, because I don't think there's enough here. And I want to sort of talk about the way that everything goes together. Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah. And I do think sometimes things get faster, sometimes they're slower, but that's intentional because there's a learning process. Um, yeah, I would love to put that together. I guess that's the thing I'm going to have to do. Well, folks, it's time. And Atlassian does have some more things here, like shared goals, uh, some good stuff here in terms of like how you're going to put some of this stuff together. So yeah, I'm going to have to put some things together for this. But yeah, all right. Well, we're going to be back on Friday with the Atlassian with Forge Fridays. Let me just make one quick check to make sure. I want to make sure I'm not telling this to people before it's true. Oh wow, it's supposed to be to that. Goodness. Okay, we might push that. Let me take a look at something. I'm gone then. Are people going to be around on Halloween? I don't know. All right, take care. I think let me just confirm. But we're going to have a special guest coming in the next few weeks. Um, um, but announcement's going to come out. I'm also going to be kicking off Marketplace Mondays next week. I'm going to get that out today as well. So Marketplace Mondays will run at the same time, 12:30 to 2. Also, maybe not on Monday. Oh no, maybe I move that. I'll figure it out. Marketplace Mondays will be a thing, which is where we're going to go over Marketplace apps as well. So lots of things coming up. But we're going to have some special guests from Atlassian on Forge Fridays coming soon as well. Maybe on the clinic if I can pull that off. All right, folks, take care.